Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Terrestrial Material, where we talk about the material us terrestrials are interested in. It's another Sunday, but it's not really, right? St. Patrick's Day. You get the show to fall right on St. Patrick's Day. It's pretty cool. Obviously, yes, I'm very Irish. I got well, I'd tell you my last name, but yeah, I mean, that would probably prove it enough, but I got the 3 different chains on here. Got the hat, the beer, got the clover in there. I mean, as always, I've got the Irish flag hanging in the background. I mean, you guys have probably all seen that at this point. And yeah, I mean, there's no alcohol just yet. It's 1 o'clock. I mean, I'll probably have a Jameson shot or something a little down the road here today. But, you know, I thought about actually doing that at the end. I'm like, I'll just pour a shot and do it, even though it's early in the day. But we'll just save all that for later. Yeah, so happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody. Rotary, good to see you. Nick, Cosmic Twilight, good to see you as well. Puck Elf is in here, Sapphire. And John, as usual. Okay, John, you are here. You're watching football. I know you said you might be a little bit late. It's 5 o'clock there. Yeah, okay, I get it. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. I should just do it anyway. Yeah. You know, I was thinking about this before we get into this stuff. How is 1 o'clock for you guys? Is this pretty good? I mean, it's really good for me. Because it's kind of like not too early, but it's not too late in the day where it would hold me up from doing other stuff on a Sunday. But yeah, let me know in the chat. Let me know in comments later on if you guys are catching this a little bit later. Tell me what you think on time frame for it. But right now it seems pretty good, and I definitely enjoy it. Obviously, like, share, subscribe, all that YouTuber stuff. You know, we all have heard all of it before. You make sure you get that out there. And then today has been. I guess we're going to talk about Kirkpatrick stuff again. I mean, the title of today's episode is Kirkpatrick on Parade because he is just on parade still. To be honest, I don't know why. He's just out and about doing more and more interviews. I kind of figured after these reports came out, he got his other job at Oak Ridge. We really wouldn't hear much from him, but he is still out and about. Oh, I guess then one other thing. If you don't believe that I'm Irish, this will really prove it to you here. I won't tell you my last name, but would a non-Irishman have a wedding ring that was a colada? Come on. And my birthday's this month too. So, I mean, it just keeps piling on and piling on. But yeah, I kind of thought we wouldn't hear much from Kirkpatrick, but he has been vocal, and we're getting a little bit more of a better view of maybe why the report looks the way that it does and why it sounds the way that it does from him. And, you know, when we get these opportunities to have him talk, it's not like I don't want him to talk. I mean, I like hearing the guy talk about what his opinions on the topic and kind of how Arrow has, quote unquote, came to these conclusions, no matter how crazy it can seem from time to time. So we'll go over a little bit of that. Obviously, Congress is still moving. There's still some kind of functionality that's going on there. They're pressing forward. So we'll take a look at a couple of spots that I think Matt Laszlo pulled out today. Obviously, Skyfire News has pulled up some really easy clips for us to grab. You know, they've been doing a good job. Shout out to them as well. So Matt Laszlo, Skyfire. If you guys aren't following them on Twitter, definitely go do that. They're a good little one-stop shop if you don't always have the time to maybe catch a Sunday show or what have you. I definitely recommend them. And they've been very nice to us. So, you know, we're nice to people who've been nice to us. So let's get over to it. That's about enough yapping out of me here, okay? You guys are here for the news. Let's start off with the Sora video. We didn't do this last week. Last week, we kind of jumped right into it. So if you guys want to let's just get right in the Sora video first. And actually, let's read the prompt here. The OpenAI team dropped some wild Sora videos. This is a point of view of bees. Now, these videos continue to get crazy and better every week. I'm not lying. I mean, we're kind of proving that every week that we pull these up. Now, this question was answered for me. Remember, guys, a couple of weeks ago when I said, are they getting the sound as well with these prompts? Like, are they getting to that point where it's going to come linked together? And I still don't think that it is, because this one says, oh, you know, let me zoom in on this for you guys, because if we don't, you won't be able to read it as well. 100% AI minus sound. Now, there is sound to this video, but it's been added later, and I guarantee you it's copyright, and so we'd get killed over it. So I'm not going to play the sound, even though it is good. Yeah, let's just watch this video. It's very, very, very cool. They got this bee, man. You're following around the bee. it's just crazy, the detail. That's what really stands out about these every week. It's the detail continues. The colors are incredible. Very, very in-depth. But you know what I look at too when I see stuff like this? I look at the density. Like in these areas, the detailed density, not just the resolution. Like, I mean, obviously the resolution's there. It's very, very cool. But look at how the light shines off this bee, how the lighting hits the wing perfectly, how it usually, like you would imagine that it would in real life, and how the darks, and you still see a little bit of like clutter in these areas that it's just like, God, it just knows, right? You see what I mean? See these areas? God, it kind of blurs when you get a little bit of motion blur when we pause it, but it's very, very cool. The angle of the bee moving. Wow. Yeah, it's so cool, man. The wings are going. I can't tell. What's at the bottom here? Is this like somebody's shirt that's swinging? That's like following behind him? What is that? Supposed to be like a drone or... Because that looks like a foot. Does not look like a foot right there? Right underneath. It's probably hard for you guys to see, but it looks like a foot. Very impressive, says Nix. Yeah, absolutely. Hugs and all. 4 a.m. Can't sleep. It's 4 a.m. for you, Sapphire? Holy, dude. Yeah, if you don't feel like you can make these live shows, you don't have to, man. I appreciate the support you do throw us anyway. But yeah. Is it? Well, see, don't blame me if you can't sleep, because I'm not trying to keep you up here, all right? I'm just bringing you some Sora videos. Yeah, these are very, very cool. So there's the Sora video for the week. Yeah, like I said, I want to put a bunch of them together for the end of the year. Before we get into the Kirkpatrick stuff, I've heard this rumor, and I kind of wanted to bring maybe a little validity to this. Chris Bledsoe, as everyone knows him, he's the really big, how do you say it? Like, he can call in these UFOs. He's like the big famous guy right now that's able to talk to them. He sees, I think it's called the gray lady or the lady in white, one of those two things. And he's popular. A lot of people believe that this guy is legit, that he can drag them in. I mean, I've always said, if you can do it, like, let's bring you on TV or let Corbell come on out and take you out and bring some of these UFOs in and see really what we can do here and prove some of this. But that never seems to usually happen. But one of the common complaints you see with him, or critiques, is that his family is very, very big into like RC planes, drones. And when you look at this video, that you do see a lot of RC parts. You got a plane right back here that's hanging down. Let me play this a little bit more. Let me see. Obviously, he's got quite the workshop here. You can't argue that. This looks like a box for some other RC plane that's back here. I thought I seen another piece that was interesting. He's building something right here on the bottom. That looks like a long, I don't even know. Maybe I shouldn't even guess at that. Well, that looks like parts right there for a plane. The wood that's underneath his arm here, that looks like pieces that you're going to put together for the plane. But a lot of people think that, and there's another plane hanging right here. My God, how did we miss that? There's one hanging there. So a lot of people think that this is what's going on, that his kids or him possibly are flying these RC planes out, and people are recording them and seeing them with these lights, and they're thinking that they're UFOs. I don't know. I'm not saying that that's what it is, but I will say that there's validity to that argument, at least. You could definitely have some healthy skepticism when it comes to that. Anyone for me that claims healing properties or potential healings from things, that's a giant red flag for me. So yeah, I believe there's a phenomenon, guys, but I pulled up these kind of clips and show you this stuff to show you that, dude, I am in the middle though. I want to get down to the facts of it. And if this guy ends up being full of it, let's take a look at it, and then let's, toss it out proverbially there and move on. So interesting stuff. If you guys have never seen this before, that's definitely a good little clip here. And then also, as you guys do know, there are mummies that were in Los Angeles this week. There's a lot to go over this week, guys. I'm just kind of machine gunning this stuff off because there truly is a lot, and we're trying to keep it to an hour. So, yeah, Jaime Maussan, he's got 2 more of these mummies that he has unveiled in Los Angeles. And this is, you can see some people are upset because the finger broke off of this one. And they're saying, man, this is how you treat the supposed dead aliens or potential aliens from the past. And they're not doing a very good job of that. And then this was another really good point that was made here. If you look at this photo, he's got a mask on. He doesn't. It's very odd, right? You know, why wouldn't they tell him, hey, if this is real, there's potential like contamination, things going on here. Got to get a mask on this guy, will you? Now, I know the mummies topic has been absolutely beaten to death, okay? And that's why I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I mean, everybody talks about it. You guys have probably had an earful. The one comment I will make about the LA conference is that everyone has been complaining, saying, why hasn't the U.S. got a hold of these bodies, like a U.S. institution, a university, Harvard? I've been saying, you know, ship them off to Harvard. Why hide this stuff? If it's real, it's only going to do good for you. I mean, imagine if Harvard came out for Jaime and said, yeah, they're real. That'd be incredible. You couldn't get any better PR in the world than that. I think that it's kind of a stunt. It's kind of like a pump fake for most people, because it's like, yeah, we haven't took them to the U.S. They haven't really been looked at, but hey, we're in L.A., so we're kind of in the U.S., you know? We could have them looked at here. It's like he's trying to bring this U.S. association into the picture without actually bringing these universities into the picture. It's like this front that he's putting up, like that the U.S., people in the U.S. are like, now they're on board and they're supporting this. I don't know. It's an interesting little sales technique from him, in my opinion. But yeah, I still don't believe in these mummies. I think the past has dictated where we are at now with them. And if later on down the road, if he gets them and they get them looked at and there's something to them, sure. We'll always come around the other way and say, hey, we found them. Before we go into that, we have a little bit of news about Grush.
Kirkpatrick.
Okay. So this is a clip from, I believe, Matt Ford, the Good Trouble Show. And this is pretty interesting because I've been arguing over these emails. I've wanted either Kirkpatrick to put out the emails that he denied access for Grush to come to Arrow and speak, or that Grush could come out and say, hey, I've been trying to get a hold of them and he won't give me the okay, and or just is it flat out ignoring the emails and not talking to them. Okay. So just a couple of days ago, this clip comes out where Matt Ford decides to start shedding light on this situation with these emails. Credit for that. Credit for trying to shed some light on it. Now, a lot of people, I think, would watch this clip and they would say to themselves, oh, okay, he's given the excuse for Grush. This sounds great to Grush. I didn't take that from the clip, especially at the end. I think if you really start to look at the wording and what's happened in these emails at the end, you might be able to see where I'm saying, but we'll go over it. So I'm going to play this clip for you. It's about 2.5 minutes long. Might have to stop it a little bit along the way. I mean, I doubt this guy even knows our channel, so I kind of doubt we'd have any trouble, but let's go ahead and get to it.
Has repeatedly taken passive-aggressive shots at whistleblower David Grush for not going to Arrow. Now, first, David Grush knew Arrow did not have the investigative authority required. Grush had already provided classified information and testimony to Congress and the Inspector General.
And now, look, that's good. I mean, if Grush is providing that information already to the Inspector General and Congress, tremendous. But at the end of the day, it still, I think, would go further, faster if he were to go to Arrow, no matter how I feel about Arrow. I mean, and like I said, I don't agree with everything they're doing over there, but we can't forget that the best lie is a half-truth. So I do think that there are a couple of things that are interesting and that are truthful that come from those reports, and they're coming from Arrow, but there's a lot of crap, but he still needed to go.
This is new. It was also well known that advisor Sean Kirkpatrick brought onto Arrow were and are under active investigation by the Inspector General. Let me repeat that. Advisor Sean Kirkpatrick brought onto Arrow are under active investigation by the Inspector General.
So I guess he's just simply saying, hey, there's a lot of funny business that could be going on and these guys are going to get looked at. Cool. Cool. I mean, go ahead and investigate the investigation. Hey, man, whatever brings out the truest results, I'm down for that.
Now, Grush testifying to Arrow would likely have jeopardized those active investigations, and of course, he wouldn't want to do that. Now, whistleblowers refusing to go to Arrow infuriated Kirkpatrick. It humiliated Kirkpatrick. In November, Sean used a United States senator to try and squeeze David Grush to go in and testify. So,
he's putting the squeeze on him now. I mean, look, Kirkpatrick, he could be infuriated by them not going. I don't know if that's as much as the case. I think the infuriation is not really how bad he looks. I think he'd be more upset about just not being able to get all the information that he wanted to put the report out with. That would be my guess.
Dave Grush emailed Arrow and the others on that group email and said to Kirkpatrick, look, I'm authorized to discuss any UAP special access programs, but am I authorized to discuss with Arrow the associated conventional programs that are part of the crash recovery program cover-up? You see, Dave would have had to have discussed with Arrow the non-UAP related compartmented programs to explain the nested hierarchy of how the Pentagon and the CIA were hiding the crash recovery and back engineering programs from Congress.
Maybe that's true. I don't know exactly how those NDAs work. I don't know exactly how much he could say to Kirkpatrick. So I might be on board with this, but as we continue here, you might see where I start to go, I don't know.
The reply to Dave from Kirkpatrick stated, quote, we can receive any and all UAP related material. Dave said, fine. Please provide in writing that I am cleared and protected to discuss any classified non-UAP related programs.
Please provide in writing. Now, in writing, to me, is writing. Now, I'm sure that he means give me a really formal statement that says, hey, I'm good. If I'm wrong here, if you end up being wrong, Kirkpatrick, and I end up telling you something I'm not supposed to, I'm not going to get burnt over that. I'm sure that's what he's asking for.
Kirkpatrick's reply, we can handle everything, Dave. Just come on in. Trust me, bro. Kirkpatrick would not provide in writing to David Grush that he was authorized and protected to discuss ancillary classified programs. Why? Because Kirkpatrick knew that getting those written authorizations from ODNI.
Okay, let me go back here a little bit. I think I let this record just a little bit too long. Let me go back again, because this is the big part.
Discuss ancillary classified programs. Why? Because Kirkpatrick knew.
Okay. So he just admitted, Matt Ford, from what we know, and obviously this is speculation coming from him, and we don't have Grush's statement on this, we don't have Kirkpatrick's statement on this, so you kind of have to take all this with a grain of salt still, unfortunately. It's the most irritating thing ever. But in my opinion, if I was David Grush, with my knowledge of the situation, if I would have said, hey, look, give me in writing, let me know it's cool for me to come talk to you about this. And if Kirkpatrick would have emailed me back and said, hey, we're good, come talk to me, that would have been enough for me. That's where I would have said, okay, I got an email here, I got it in writing. If I get any kind of drama back my way, any kind of reprisals, any issues with my NDAs, you got to go blame this Kirkpatrick guy, because he's supposed to be the guy with Arrow. He's supposed to be the head. He's supposed to be the guy with all the clearances. This is what we're told. That they even have Title 50. It works around Title 50. When you look at the writing that comes through for Arrow. So is Grush in the wrong on this one? For the best of my knowledge, yes. I think that's really bad. It's really suspect. That goes heavily against Grush for me. When I first heard this clip, I thought to myself, man, Matt Ford might have hung Grush out to dry on this one a little bit, because that doesn't sound very good. Now, if somebody comes out that's, has a greater knowledge on these NDAs and can explain to me, hey, no, it wouldn't work that way, tremendous. Let's do that. And this is, like I mentioned a million times, it's all hearsay until we get some real solid facts and evidence. But this is the first that I've heard that there were even any email exchange from Kirkpatrick and Grush. From what I knew, there was nothing. And I've never heard anybody say that they had any kind of information like this or any kind of back and forth transcription. And number two, how the hell does Matt Ford know this? Who is he talking to? How is he seeing these emails and we can't? That's messed up. So, I mean, like I said, we don't know. We don't know 100%, but I mean, that's news to me, though. We got something forward on it when it comes to that. Take it how you may. Let me see this next clip here.
And
yeah, so now this clip I want to watch right here, this is from the latest NSSA interview that was done from Kirkpatrick, and you guys probably haven't seen this because this was behind like a subscription wall. I don't want to say paywall, but you had to be like registered at a certain amount at a certain time to be able to actually watch this thing live. But some people screen capped it for us, so that was pretty nice of them. And we get the clips, so I wouldn't be surprised if most of you guys aren't digging at Twitter all day long that you haven't seen these clips. So these are pretty interesting. So this is a clip where Kirkpatrick talks about his clearances with Arrow. So if we keep what Matt Ford, the story he just told in mind, and we listen to this, we could find a little bit more interesting information.
We have another question from the audience. Does Arrow possess the legal access required, legal authorities required to retrieve information from government agencies or private companies about UAPs? And or is there additional authorities needed to strengthen the ability to collect information?
Now, I get asked that question almost every time, and the answer is always the same. Arrow has all the legal authorities it needs. It is written into law in NDAA 23. We've had general counsel review it and put the statement out to that effect. We've had DOD and IC and other partners write letters that say we're all agreed this is how we're going to do this, and they're authorized to receive everything. And we've not had anything denied to us, at least at that time as I left.
Now we haven't had anything denied to us. I mean, there's no way for us to confirm really what he's saying with that. These are this kind of statements, and you guys will see off the next couple of clips that we go over from this interview. These are the things that irritate me with him. He speaks in extreme generalities, and he does speak in a whole lot of kind of trust me, bro phrases, and just the way he explains things I do not like, and I would expect more from a PhD guy, to be honest with you. And especially somebody who has supposedly looked at all of these programs. He's supposed to have the information. I mean, he makes a statement we'll see later on in here that is pretty incredible. That it's like, how could you even say that, man, if you don't have the full picture here with this? Now, I understand there's a classified version of this document, but the generalities are just too much. This is why people have such a trouble, I think, with listening to him and even looking at that error report and taking it completely at face value. So very interesting. So he's the one thing I will say that I do agree with him on is the clearances part. I don't see how he's really lying about that side of it. Now, whether or not he's covering up what he's seen, I do believe that he probably had the clearances to go ahead and go around, because you can look back at the NDAA and you can see how that's structured out. You could see that he most likely really does have those clearances to be able to get in there. So, like I said, a half truth is the best lie. So there's going to be things that I think are truthful throughout this. Let's finish up the clip. Maybe there's a little bit something extra here that we missed.
That was all done. I had stood up with the SAPCO and CAPCO, a security construct to handle all that information. And I think the evidence of it working is the DHS PSAP, right? That was a PSAP in somebody else's authorities that we discovered and were able to work with them to get declassified and released.
Yeah, so there he goes. He's saying, hey, look, we ran into this other program we weren't supposed to know about, see, and we exposed it. We had clearances that could get us down the road better than people thought. So there is that. Let me see. What's this one here? So this is a good example of kind of what I mean. He makes these giant statements. Check this out.
We have a number of questions from the audience. Let me pose a couple of them to you here in the remaining time. One question is, have any UAPs demonstrated capabilities that are beyond our technical understanding?
No.
He says no. Let me play that question again. This is incredible, man.
We have a number of questions from the audience. Let me pose a couple of them to you here in the remaining time. One question is, have any UAPs demonstrated capabilities that are beyond our technical understanding?
No.
I mean, where's the proof of that, though? I mean, that's a crazy statement that goes against 80 plus years of not only accounts, but documents that have come out through FOIA over time. It's so wild for me to hear him make such a strong statement and not back that up. And I mean, I guess maybe his excuse is wait till volume 2. I mean, I would assume if when volume 2 comes out, they're going to have some pie charts, some bar graphs, you know what I mean? Some analytical spreadsheets. They got to have something to back this up. Because that's a really wild statement to make. I mean, he makes another really kind of crazy statement. Let me pull back up our tweets here. And I have to go over this stuff, guys. I mean, this is really what kind of came out this week. That was really, really important. It was big news. It was big news. So a lot of people have criticized the Arrow report for not going over, obviously, the Nimitz event, the gimbal videos. So he breaks down a little bit further into this for this. But when you hear how he describes this, it almost sounds like he just copied his homework from everybody else on the internet. Didn't do too much critical thinking on his own. Let's listen.
Where I left it when I left. I testified multiple times on the fact that Tic Tac, there's some great eyewitness accounts of what is described as the Tic Tac. What was lacking is data, right? So I worked.
Okay, he's lacking data. Keep this in mind as we watch this clip. Really listen to what he's saying. It's huge.
With one of the pilots to try to tease out a little bit more of what exactly was it that we were potentially witnessing, and by the descriptions of everything from water disturbance to motion, relative motion, and how you can maybe see what you're seeing. Unfortunately, what's going to happen is, I think that one, my opinion,
unfortunately, what happened
is that one is going to remain unresolved because.
Remain unresolved? How is it going to remain unresolved? Don't you have access to these records? Can't you go get the radar data? I mean, don't you have the clearances? I mean, I hear that you do, but these are just these contradictory moments that are just like, God, dude, you're the guy that's supposed to be shutting this down. You should have these facts in hand.
There is no data. There is no radar data. Allegations of, the secret black helicopter that came and picked up the tapes. None of that happened. There's no evidence that somebody pulled the tapes off.
Guys, listen to what he just said right there. He's saying that there's not enough data to rule on the Nimitz encounter, but he's got enough data to tell you that there was no helicopter that came and stole the tapes. Holy God, dude. I mean, this is a truly wild statement. This is the kind of trust me, bro crap that everyone is frustrated with. And I'll say this, look, you have to stay, and I say this maybe too much, but you have to stay in the middle on this topic and grill everyone the same if you really want to get to the truth, because if you don't, I see happening to a lot of the ultra skeptics. Some people call them black pilled, whatever phrase you want to give them. I've always called them ultra skeptics. What you end up finding is that you're taking the same bait just from a different fisherman. That's the trouble. This guy is not giving you any more hard proof than Grush has, than Gary Nolan has, which I got a clip for that I'll pull up. We haven't gotten any further. You literally will take the same bait. That's why if you get on fully one side or the other, and I mean this with love, it's a very simple-minded position. It is. Because you just can't get down to what's really going on. I got a phone call coming in I'm going to ignore. Yeah, it's so tough. It's so tough. We'll continue here. Sorry.
What does happen, and this is why we had to change the data retention policy, was all of these platforms have fixed storage or a fixed amount of storage, and they only retain the data for any given mission, maybe a day, unless there is a problem with the platform that they use the data for diagnostics for. And then the next time that platform goes out, the data is overwritten.
Where have we heard that excuse before? Kirkpatrick is now taking excuse from NASA's playbook. He's saying, oh, well, there's no data there because if there's nothing significant on those tapes, they just overwrite them the next day. Isn't that the same excuse NASA made for the moon landing data? The telemetry data? Oh, it all got overwritten. We don't have that anymore. Dude, it's incredible. These guys are all using the same damn excuses. Yeah, truly, truly wild situation from him, right? Rotary State disclosure is not going to happen. Only from us people, not from the elites and the bunkers and sick ways. Yeah, I mean, look, yeah, this guy's obviously not here to tell you the truth, man. I mean, that's for sure. I mean, what his main goal, what his main mission really is at the end of the day, I think, is to just come in here and be a face for this and push this forward, because a lot of the mainstream kind of viewers of this topic, and even people that search around on UFO Twitter and stuff like that. I mean, these are kind of the more, how do I explain this, man? I've always tried to find a way that wasn't derogatory in any nature, because I want to be fair to them, because their opinion counts and we want these people here. But they're kind of like these TTSA babies, man. These people have only been around for 5 or 6 years. A lot of them are going to take this report at face value and move on. And I think that is a part of the goal here. I think it is to kind of move people forward, move them away from this topic, grab a hold of all of it again, and just be able to kind of manipulate it to where they choose. But yeah, the stuff is gone in a day. And here's my thing. Let's say that that's true. Okay. Let's say he's telling the truth. If there's nothing on the reports, though, that data is overwritten in a day. Okay. You would have to have some kind of training manual for these guys that says, hey, look, this is how we manage our data on these test encounters. Dude, there's no way that they're not our Navy pilots, our Navy radar people are not rigorously trained on how to use this equipment, on what to do with the data. You're dealing with classified shit we're talking here, okay? Sorry for my language, but I mean, I got to make a point. This is important stuff. Why is that not in the report? Show me the manual that backs that statement up. Is that too much to ask? Really? Is it really too much to ask to get the report? And there's no helicopter that showed up. Okay, can I get the flight logs for what was flying in that test area? Can I get something that proves that? I'm not even saying you're lying, dude. I'm just saying, please give me something to hang my hat on. I mean, that's what I'm really, really looking for right now on the topic.
So there's no conspiracy in that. That's just how the military operates.
No conspiracy in that.
These data tapes and whatnot. So we did write new policy that said, hey, look, if you're reporting a UAP, you have to save all of that data and transmit it to Arrow.
Yeah, so now we're writing. He says we're writing a new policy here to save the information. Okay, but isn't that it's such a sneaky way to just discredit everything else from the past? Because it's like, oh, we're gonna give you the answer that it's just there's no missing data, nothing, everything before, it's all gone. We don't have to worry about that stuff anymore. Now we're gonna be able to take a look at the new data here. We're gonna move the narrative in the direction that we want. And when we look at this new data that's saved, we'll tell you what we think it is for UAP or not.
Within some
Crazy
period of time. So I think the Tic Tac is so far back in time, there's no data. And we went and looked for all the data. But the other
so far back in time. So if the Tic Tac is 2008, and it's 2008, right? Off the top of my head, could somebody help me with that? I mean, I don't get every date incredibly correct, but it's 2008, I think, right? Or 2006, right in there. Oh no, was it 2004? I'm all over the place. Somebody help me here. Throw the date in there if you could. How is he going to tell us that they can't even get a grip on something from 20 years ago, but they're going to get a grip on it, the whole topic for the last 80 years? How does that make any sense? How would you have enough data in those areas to be able to look at that?
The other thing that we, I asked around a bit, which I don't know, it certainly hadn't been answered by the time I left, was, there wasn't a lot of asking or questioning of other activities that might have been going on at the time, either naval activities or adversary activities. And both of those needed to be explored at that time, because records of when tests, for example, were done that far back in time may not be accurate or exist, and records of any adversary activity, will be hard to track down for exact date and time stamps, right? And those are the kinds of things that you want to get. So we'd have to look at that. All right, so Go Fast actually was explained at the NASA panel. They did a really nice job of pulling that apart and demonstrating that was parallax. I think.
Okay, so he's got a copy of the homework on NASA, which actually I don't disagree with him on. Let's try to move this video forward a little bit. We're kind of stretching into it a little bit here, boys.
As closure, I don't know where the status of that is from NASA. Double checks everybody, and then put that out as closure. I don't know where the status of that is.
This is another thing that he does a lot too, where he goes, okay, I this work that I wanted to get finished, that I started, I wasn't there for. It didn't get finished. I hope it's done. I'm out of there now. I hope they're getting completed. It's like, dude, I just don't have as much hope as I did in volume 2 to maybe get some of these answers, because a lot of the conclusions, a lot of the ends he leaves open, but the way he talks is that he's already closed them. It's just both sides of the mouth. It's wild.
That's where I left it. And gimbal, we had hypothesized was likely an artifact of how the sensor operates, as well as looking at a known object, probably a jet.
Yeah, which is Mick West's take as well. Which I don't know. Maybe it is a jet. I don't know. I don't have any proof on that. Rotary says gimbal, Tic Tac, Go Fast, I think are ours. Dude, I do too. I think that stuff is ours too. I'm not mad at him for his belief on this. I'm simply saying it's crazy to me that you could take this guy's word as gospel on this stuff that he's just copying from somewhere else. He should have, look, for instance, okay, if he thinks that the gimbal is another jet plane, Mick West already believes that, he should be able to do better than Mick West. Mick West doesn't have the clearances. Mick West doesn't supposedly have access to really understand how these data sets move, how they work. He should have them. He should be able to expand on it. It's wild. And for him to say, whoa, we just kind of didn't get to it, and he was only there for a year, and that's all fine and dandy, but why wouldn't you take a case like Nimitz and really flesh that one out first? I mean, if you were really wanting to get down to something that everyone could relate to, a story that everyone knows, you want to get everybody on board, that would have been like one of the first ones, dude, that I just totally brought out and went all over every part of it and it could prove what it was. I do believe that stuff is our technology, but that's kind of what that's it's not really the point of what I'm getting at with it. But we'll go ahead and finish this up a couple more minutes, maybe, or a couple more 10, 20 seconds.
And then seeing how that, a FLIR, blurs all of that kind of information. And so the only way you're going to prove that is you actually have to recreate it in the lab. And so one of the things that, again, that I had tried to get started before I retired was to do that. Get the actual sensor platform.
He says he tried to get that started. He doesn't even say, yeah, I got it started, man. They're working on it. That conviction is just not there, man. All right, I'm not going to bore you with this guy on this part anymore. I just, does anybody else think he should have more answers and have just more information than he does? I don't know. It's so rough, man. And the beginning of this is kind of interesting here. This is kind of what he thinks is going on here.
If you look back in time, the contemporary allegations that we're dealing with today had their roots 60, 70 years ago.
Where are you linking these? What does the Nimitz encounter have to do with Cash Landrum? What does that have to do with, whether or not you believe it or not, Betty Barney Hill, Ariel's school? You see, this is one thing that really irritates me with this, man, is the sweeping generalization of, because some people recently lied, there's this connection and everybody just kind of misunderstood it over the last 60, 70 years. We don't have any more way that we can prove that, or we're just going to go ahead and write it all off sweepingly. God, dude, it's so irritating.
And it waxes and wanes with some variation on that story.
Yeah, it waxes and wanes with some variation. It's here, it's there. It's all kind of the same thing. Don't question this. Just take our opinion on this, man. Take it for fact. Trust me, bro. Take that same bait. Take that same bait you took before. Wild.
Over time. And every time, the little variations that go into that tend to not bear fruit. They end up being not true.
Yeah. Like he says here, they tend to not bear fruit. They end up not true. We don't have the information from the Nimitz, but we got the information from the 70-year stuff. Pfft, come on. It's wild. Really wild stuff. So, I was going to play this clip for you guys, but we're at 43 minutes, and I don't really know if it's even really worth it. He kind of goes over Kona Blue. If you guys want, do you guys want to hear this? You want me to play this clip? Let me know. You want to hear Kirkpatrick talk about Kona Blue? We went over Kona Blue last week from the Arrow report, but yeah, Rotary, Travis Walton too. How you doing, Moody? Good to see you. Yeah, like what does that have to do with those cases? It's just there's no connection to that stuff. I don't know. I mean, look, I get why he's doing it. I mean, he wants to put a button on this thing. But and look, and for some people, it's enough for them to do that. I'm just telling you, for me, it ain't. It ain't enough. You have to move me. And that goes for both sides. It goes for Grush. It goes for Elizondo. It goes for, if you think Kona Blue is real, it goes for Congress. It goes for Kirkpatrick. No one has special treatment. That's the way we're going to get to it, boys. That's the way we're going to get to it. Let me move here. Let me get down. We already seen the gimbal. We already seen it. Okay. Burleson. Yeah, this was pretty cool here. Eric Burleson, guys, he's been this U.S. rep for Congress. He has been really active. He's been very, very active here. And I know I think we talked a little bit last week about how he'd been putting that, what was it called? The special committee, like the subcommittee, to be able to look into the stuff and get subpoena power and be able to pull these guys in and do a little bit of investigation of their own. Something that's maybe not as so linked to the Pentagon that we might be able to kind of get down the road with. So there's a cooler clip of this right here where he talks about it. And I think you guys will enjoy this as well. Let's get into it.
To find the truth about unidentified anomalous phenomena.
Let me find it really quick because there's a lot here that you guys are not going to care about. Oh, wait, no. Okay, it's at the front of the clip.
Is enough being done to find the truth about unidentified anomalous phenomena, UAPs, otherwise sort of kind of what we've all called UFOs for years. Now, there is one congressman who says enough isn't being done. The Republican from Missouri, Eric Burleson, is leading a charge. He is asking for Congress to do something about it, saying, quote, "We believe that establishing a new select subcommittee would provide a significant opportunity for Congress to provide answers that are long overdue." Joining us now is the congressman from Missouri, Congressman Burleson.
Sounds
Thanks
good to
for being
me.
with us here on the Hill. What do you want here?
Great to be here.
Is this a new committee? And how receptive is the House Speaker Mike Johnson to this?
Yeah, we've reached out to Mike Johnson.
Can you guys not hear the name Mike Johnson and not think of the joke? I'm sorry. I'm supposed to be 34 this month. Good Lord.
I think that this is the next step, is to send a formal letter. Look, I'm lucky to have other colleagues that are part of the UAP caucus, that we're all taking this matter very seriously. We took the whistleblower, David Grush, and his allegations very seriously. I think we took the testimony of pilots who have had these near-miss encounters and have seen these objects. We've taken their concerns very seriously, and I think that we owe it to the American people to shed light on the expenditures that are, all the money that's being used to invest.
Like that. I love when you watch British Parliament and somebody says something that they like and everybody goes, "Hey, yeah." That's what I feel like right now when he says that we all deserve from our tax money to know what's going on. I just wish we could all collectively just jump in and go, "Yeah."
Investigate these matters. This needs to be done in a transparent way, and we're trying to do this in a very thoughtful way, which is why I think that we need the resources. We need to have a select committee so that we can have the staff in place who are dedicated to this cause.
Correct. Trust but verify. That's what Burleson's saying. I like that. How can you not like that?
Is the Speaker on your side?
I don't know yet. I have a feeling I'll look forward to hearing from him, but
Okay.
I know that we've got Chairman Comer on our side. We've got Tim Burchett and other members of the UAP caucus, and
Democrats
so
and
hopefully we'll get a
Republicans.
response from the Speaker.
Yep.
Yes.
Here was the
Yes, we have,
report, Congressman.
Representative Moskowitz.
Yep, exactly. Here was the report from the Pentagon last week, basically pushing back on David Grush's testimony and the idea that there's a secret crash retrieval
Pushing back.
program, quote, Arrow, which is the
I'm blown
government,
away. The Pentagon pushed back,
agency
really.
overseeing this, assesses that all of the named and described alleged hidden UAP reverse engineering programs provided by interviewees either do not exist, are misidentified authentic national security programs that are not related to extraterrestrial technology exploitation, or resolved to a de-established program.
So the Department of Defense is saying either do these cases, these situations, they either don't exist, misidentified authentic national security programs, not related to extraterrestrial technology exploitation, or to resolve a disestablished program. So that's contradictory to what Kirkpatrick is feeding us here. He's saying there's not enough information. He's saying there's not enough data. So, I mean, even the Pentagon is just contradicting itself with Kirkpatrick. Man, it's all over the place over there, huh? So there you go. That's moving forward. That's very cool. We'll hope that they get some access to that. Let me see. A couple more things, guys. We're at 50 minutes. We got 10 minutes. You guys see this Elon Musk ship here? We'll have a little fun for a second. Let's get away from the homework here. So Elon Musk says Starship will make life multi-planetary. This is supposedly Starship. Somebody tell Elon Musk that we're not going to be multi-planetary with these crappy rockets, okay? This is dead technology, Elon. We are not going to be... We need some of those Tic Tacs. Now, you show me a Tic Tac, Elon, then I'll believe we're going to go ahead and be multi-planetary. But until then, let's pump the brakes on that. I understand he's very optimistic, but come on. All right, where is this other one I wanted to pull up that was very, very good as well? This was cool, too. If you guys have ever seen this clip before, let's go over this really fast. Don't you find this interesting? This is John... Why is it John Brennan? I believe it's John Brennan. This is a former head of CIA. When you hear this guy talk and you see his body language when he talks about this topic, it is like he is so careful about what he's saying. He's in deep thought. It's really interesting. Watch this. This is 20 seconds.
I think some of the phenomena we're going to be seeing it continues to be unexplained, and might in fact be some type of phenomenon that is the result of something that we don't yet understand, and that could involve some type of activity that some might say constitutes a different form of life.
That to me, and I'll let this play with no sound, that to me does not look like someone who's trying to think of a lie. That looks like to me someone who's trying their damnedest to not say the wrong thing. And he's also in deep thought of just trying to how to explain how crazy this phenomena is, whatever we're seeing here really is. I know that's an old clip, but it's still pretty cool to be able to see some of that stuff. Oh, by the way, Senator Gillibrand still hasn't even read the report yet on Arrow. Interesting. The whole damn community has taken the time to read it. She hasn't yet. Where is the clip that I wanted here from Laszlo that was actually pretty cool? We'll check maybe that out too before we go. Where's it at here? I made arrangements to get the complete version. Oh, yeah. Listen to this. Listen to this, guys. So this is Mike Rounds talking to Matt Laszlo about the Arrow report. And he's kind of bragging a little bit about the version of the report he gets to read.
Hey, good. How you doing?
Living the dream.
That looks like it. Yeah, it's a Thursday, which is a Senate Friday, or a Friday, which is a Senate Thursday, or whatever. But however that goes. Yeah.
Were you able to check out that Arrow report?
I have made arrangements to get the complete version so that I can read it.
You get the good one?
Yeah.
He gets the good one. God, I can't lie. I'm so jealous, man. How awesome would it be able to be to head down there and get the classified report? No matter what you believe, what's going on with it, get your hands on that and see it, man. So then you might see that if there is more data than what's being let on here with Nimitz, and we could see kind of a sneak peek of what kind of technology that we do have, right?
Oh. I'm gonna wait and read the classified.
Yeah. Oh, I would too. That's the fun part of it. And intel. Have you talked to or tried to talk to the new interim director, Timothy?
I have not yet.
Yeah.
Just time, and with us running everything else, it's been
Yeah.
required courses first, which is the appropriation stuff, and
Yeah.
and then we'll look at these other items that we're working on it as well.
So long story short, no. You know, he hasn't got a chance to talk to the new interim head of Arrow. I don't know anyone that spoke to him yet, guys. I've been looking around, and there's really not any information about the new head. Well, I mean, as far as his name and stuff is out there, but any contact, his take on the Arrow report, that would be really interesting too. But I don't know. I don't think people are going to put as much early faith in this new guy as much as they did with Kirkpatrick. I wouldn't imagine you would, but I don't know. I don't speak for everybody, but and just I'm going to play this just to kind of drive this point home too about my analogy with the fisherman and the bait. So we heard what Kirkpatrick said. We hear him kind of contradicting himself and going back and forth. I don't think Lou Reviews is going to kill us for using this clip from his show, but I doubt it, right? But we're going to play this clip of Gary Nolan kind of contradicting himself. I think we've played this clip on our channel anyways, but it's still good to get a little refresher of certain things sometimes.
If you are sufficiently observant and smart, you can jump to the conclusion of what it is without having to have all of the data that proves it.
Without having to have all the data that proves it.
Yeah, but Lou, it's the same thing with Kirkpatrick though, brother. You got to see it. You got to see that it's the same thing.
And here he is today.
That they release the data on which their conclusions are made. Don't expect anybody to take your conclusions, trust me, bro, without giving us the data.
Right. Don't laugh, Lou. Don't laugh. Okay. Kirkpatrick ain't gave us any data yet either. Okay. Same. I'm telling you guys, same bait, different fishermen. And then you got this clip of Colehart that's he's providing or saying now that or making these claims that he's getting more more news from staffers, congressional staffers, direct firsthand witness evidence. This guy, man, too, he's got all the information in the world. Don't you think if I was Colt Hart, okay, and if I was actually, trying to dig at the truth of this thing, he's got to be questioning his own sources, quote unquote sources at this point, right? If I was him, hearing what Arrow's been saying and, seeing maybe what's coming down the pike with all these other whistleblowers just not showing their faces and things looking pretty grim, because they are, I'd release a little something. I'd give a name just to get a temperature check, right? Just to get stick a thermometer out there. Here's the thing, Ross, if for on some reason on God's earth here, God's green earth, you're hearing my show, okay, I'm sure you're not, slide a name out there. Don't do it for me. Do it for yourself, so that you may or may not question that if the validity of your sources at this point, because I don't think that you've got the true lowdown on a UFO that's so big and they had to put a building around it, buddy. I don't think you got it. Okay. I don't think you got it. Show us already. Boy, oh boy. Okay. Where are we going to end at here, guys? Huh? Where we at? 57 minutes. That UFO chick. Hello. Hi. How you doing? Good to see you in here. Afternoon. Happy St. Patrick's Day once again to everybody. You guys see the I snuck this in here down at the bottom left there, the little Irish flag. I got that snuck in. I had this, I had it above the screen cap window there. I had this little Happy St. Patrick's Day with a couple clovers next to it. I had it written and I pulled it out of Photoshop and I put it up there, and it looked cheesy. I asked my wife, I said, hey, does this not look very good? Does this look cheesy to you? And she goes, dude, it looks like clip art, man. And she knows. I give her massive credit, man. If I got to have a question about how something looks, she will give it to me straight. She will not butter me up whatsoever. This is very, very helpful. Sometimes you take a little offense. Sometimes you're like, God, I worked on that. Or man, I really thought that was good. She makes you question it, but I guess it's questioned in a good way. Okay, I know what we're going to end on. I just got to find it. 2 seconds. Okay, I lied. And I do this at the end of every show. I always say, one more thing. No, I lied. It's like an encore BS thing. This I want to play because we need more people, more of these celebrities or these guys to kind of get into conversations, in my opinion. I like to see Jeremy Corbell do some debates, come around Twitter a lot more often. And this is him. And he jumps into this space and he does like the greatest like salesman way that you would do this. Like you get into this space and you're only there to kind of promote your thing and to make sure that people still like you, and you're testing the waters. You're in and then you're out, And when you do that, it's so disingenuous, man. And like everybody sees it too, I think, unless you're just starstruck constantly by a lot of this stuff. But this is so funny because I was watching it the first time. I was like, I bet you this guy doesn't spend more than a minute in this damn space. Doesn't take a question. Here it is.
Awesome. Hey, your audio's coming through just fine.
Okay, great. Yeah, hey guys, I just wanted to say real quick, so I had to pop in here. Really cool of you to host like the.
Just let me pop in here, guys. Right before my episode starts, make sure you guys tune in.
Pre-game for the episode.
Yeah, pre-game.
I recognize.
Why don't you do your own pre-game, Jeremy? Why don't you pre-game every episode? And you know what's even better, dude? Why don't you do a post-game where people can ask you questions about the content? Oh, you don't want to do that though.
I recognize a lot of your icons. I don't usually jump in to these chats or whatever. I wish I could more.
You wish you could more? They run these spaces like 24/7, Jeremy. There's nothing but opportunity for you to get in these spaces. You just don't want to and get any tough questions.
But I just want to say I listen to a lot of you, and I recognize a lot of your icons. I don't spend a lot of time on social media, but a lot.
Total BS lie too, by the way. He doesn't spend a lot of time on social media. He has a giant show. This guy for sure spends time on social media. And he always says this too, and then later on in his shows, he's like, "Oh, what'd you see on Twitter this week?" It's like,
a lot of you have said some really smart things over the years. So I just wanted to come in and just say, look, we don't all have to agree on what UFOs are, what every UFO is, or like what UFOs mean to humanity. but I think we can all agree this is fucking important, right? Whatever this topic is important. And I think every voice, as long as people aren't just like negatively speaking to each other and causing unnecessary hassle, we're all on the same page. We're all trying to figure out what's up with UFOs. So really, this team of people you see here, even if you have different ideas on what it is, I'm just so glad you host this shit.
He's like a hockey coach, or I mean, any coach for sports for that matter. He's coming in the locker room before the game, right? And his game is his episode. And he's like, you know what, guys, everything's going to be going better. You guys are doing great. Hype everybody up, pep everybody up, and then get the hell out of the locker room.
And you guys start talking.
And hope that they score the goals.
I'm getting ready for the show. I really hope you guys enjoy it. But I just want to thank you, like all of you. I see.
He's getting ready for the show. His shows are pre-recorded. What is he getting ready for? He's getting his chips and his Mountain Dew ready? Like, what are you getting ready for? Jeremy, stay in the spaces, man. Everybody knows it's crap. Let people ask you questions, man. Come on. You're making enough money. You owe it to people to come in and have a conversation.
So many faces in here, people that I recognize. I just want to say thank you guys for being fucking loud about this, because every inch, every millimeter, as you can see from that last Arrow report, this is not some government conspiracy where they're trying to tell us that aliens are real to be afraid. You could tell now from that last report that we have fought for every millimeter, every inch. And a lot of that fighting has been done by you guys.
Now, I will agree with him on this. I think that the Arrow report and everything that's still going on here is definitive proof that there is no drip disclosure plan, dude. There is no, the government's kind of slowly rolling this stuff out. They don't want to tell you. I don't even think you could argue for a drip program anymore, could you? If you got a good argument for it, put it in the comments, put it in the chat, but I don't see it, personally. That's my opinion.
On X. So I just want to say thank you, and I'm pumped for the last episode of season 1.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Love you, Jeremy. Guys. Hey, man, back at you, and have a great talk. I'll try to jump in before the show and listen more, but sincerely, reach out.
Hey, I love you guys, but I got to get the hell out of here, okay? Did you see Heather Birdie? I like Heather. Heather's got her hand up here. She just wants to ask Jeremy a question. Nice person, just looking for a little bit of clarity, I'm sure. Jeremy, he's got to get the hell out of here, you know? He can't do it, man. Oh, boy. Oh, boy, oh, boy. All right. I promise. Last thing. And we started with some AI, and we're going to end on some AI, guys, okay? This is very, very cool. Very, very scary as well. Dude, did I not bookmark that? If I didn't bookmark it, I can sure grab it. Let me see. Oh, I'm going to be big sad, dude, if I can't get this now. I thought I bookmarked it. Oh, I did. Yeah, okay. I did bookmark this. Okay. Jay put up a cool little video here. This is going to blow your guys' mind at how quickly this is going.
Hey, Figure One, what do you see right now?
I see a red apple on a plate in the center of the table, a drying rack with cups and a plate, and you standing nearby with your hand on the table.
Great. Can I have something to eat?
You haven't seen nothing yet.
Sure thing.
The fluid movement of that robot is crazy.
Can you explain why you did what you just did while you pick up this trash?
On it. So I gave you the apple because it's the only edible item I could provide you with from the table.
Look at the little movements, the little adjustments. It's natural.
Great. So, based on the scene right now, where do you think the dishes in front of you go next?
The dishes on the table, like that plate and cup, are likely to go into the drying rack next.
Great. Can you put them there?
Of course.
There's a little bit of slow response, like it's calculating, but that's just time. I mean, It's crazy. Terminator Skynet, rotary. I'm telling you, bro.
So how do you think you did?
I think I did pretty well. The Apple found its new owner. The trash is gone.
You know what I noticed right there? Listen to him right before he starts talking. He goes, "How do you think you did?" Listen to how the robot like stutters in thought. It's almost like it's simulating that thought process, even like the way a human would when you start to talk. You know, sometimes you want to answer something, you go, it's weird.
How do you think you did?
I think I did pretty well. The Apple found its new owner, the trash is gone, and the tableware is right where it belongs.
I agree. Thanks, Figure One.
You're welcome. If there's anything else you need help with, just let me know.
You can help us to and not kill everybody once you speak once you get moving around more. Yeah, look at this. Holy! I remember just, I don't know, 6 months ago we did an episode on AI, and it was just like the head on the shoulders talking. This thing is moving. And this isn't even I don't believe this is Boston Dynamics. This is some other company that's out there. Yeah, Her was a really good movie too, man. I mean, that's coming too. Just how Natural the Robot Talks is scary enough, Nick. Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Dude, I'm telling you, man. This is a big reason of why I've been leaning away from either just aliens or aliens being the answer completely for this stuff at all. So much this last year. Like, how can you not watch that and go, okay, 50 years from now, 20 years, 100 years from now, this is going to start doing physics on a high level. Mix quantum computing in with this thing. As the AI progresses, the knowledge progresses of the world, put all that together with the Chat GPT, how far that goes. It is truly wild. I don't know. I really wonder what we're going to be looking at. As you can see down in the lower part of my screen, or the lower part of the actual screen from the stream, you see that tic-tac on the surface of that planet, the moon. It's probably the moon, I think there is in the bottom lower third of the image. But yeah, who made it, man? I mean, maybe it wasn't us. Maybe it was AI from the future. I don't know. I don't know. It's incredible, nevertheless. So there we go, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. I won't leave you out here. I see UFO chick in chat, but that's going to be that for this week. Like, share, subscribe. It always helps. Throw a comment down there if you have any questions, if you want to add anything to the show, if you have maybe a Sora suggestion for next week, a UFO video for next week that you want to kind of go over and take a look at. Thank you guys so much for coming in. Tim G Star here. Now we're going to still go through everybody here, and you know how we always worry about losing somebody. Moody Mongol. Obviously, John Stokes, you're the man, dude. You're always here. Really appreciate it. Sapphire, Nick, Cosmic Twilight. I plug Nick every week. Guys, go watch Nick's channel, The Cosmic Twilight. He's got really cool videos out there. Take a look at it. Yeah, everyone that's been in chat, everyone that's going to watch this later on in the VOD, we do get majority of our views from the VOD. So, you know, we're not going to leave you guys out. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Have a great St. Patrick's Day. You know, drink responsibly, as they all say. But if you're going to drink, you know, have a Guinness, right? Do something a little Irish, you know, change up your drinking choice. I was kind of giving Ashton some crap about that the other day in a space. I was like, you know, you got to put those martinis down, man. You're going to have to go get some Guinness or get some Jameson out here for today, or maybe even Proper 12. That Proper 12 is good. I'm not sponsored, but it is good. I wish I was sponsored by Conor McGregor. That'd be great. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy St. Patrick's Day. We'll see you guys same time, Sunday next week, 1 p.m. Eastern time. And yeah, that's going to do it. See you later.